What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we're here with quote-unquote breaking news. I waited a little bit just to make sure, because I seen that weird, Pat McAfee thing saying this is false. I can't tell if that was just him trying to bait out because of his live stream. He wanted to have it with Rodgers first or something like. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to interject himself into the Twitterverse, get those clicks rolling. But apparently, Mr. Aaron Rodgers has signed an extension. I don't believe it's like a 4-year, as in he's got 4 more years left in Green Bay. I think he's got 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, we'll hear more about the contract details at some point, I imagine. Worth $200 million, which is absolutely absurd. Now, I don't think this is on the surface just the same as Rodgers is getting, $50 mil per year. I do think this is going to be some sort of backloaded contract where Rodgers will get a ton of money up front, but maybe the final year will be worth a lot of money that they can clear. So even though I did say this is technically 5 years now at Rodgers, it will still probably be a 4-year with Rodgers at 42 being cut or, traded, or him just straight up retiring, whatever it may be. So this will save the Packers money now, but it is probably still going to cost them a ton going forward. So Green Bay is going to be chasing that cap for years to come, unfortunately. But I will say Rodgers is a pretty damn good quarterback, obviously. If I was going to pay him, I'd probably only give him 32 per, and if he doesn't want it, I'd trade him off. At this point, it's hard to tell because, once again, as a Packers fan, I did mention how, this is the year where I was like, oh, this is the year. This is the year you win it. You don't, it's over. Why even keep Rodgers? He clearly can't get it done. But at the same damn time, every single year, I always get to rant about the Packers because they don't lose in normal fashion. They lose in spectacular fashion where it's just like a Madden type of way, right? You get a field goal blocked and a punt blocked, the punt going for a touchdown, and that's literally the reason you lose. Of course, the offense wasn't great. That also is in part due to the fact that the offensive line was banged up. No Elton Jenkins out there, no David Bakhtiari out there for the second straight year. There's a reason why Jordan Love looked like a high school quarterback, a 1-star recruit. Of course, just honestly, the way he played against the Chiefs, there's some 5-star recruits out there that probably would have looked a little bit. Is it 4-star? I don't know, dude. I'm a noob. What do you want? There's a reason, because the Packers' offensive line, it was not good. Now, this money doesn't help increase or improve the Packers' offensive line, but you never know. The Chargers decide to move on from Bulaga. Maybe he comes back to the Pack, a little hometown discount, minimum veteran deal. Who knows? That would be huge, even if he only plays half the season. If that half is the second half, I'm cool with it. Obviously, guys that we already knew were gone from the get-go. Za'Darius Smith, he'll be gone. Preston will be gone. Where else is my list here? Randall Cobb will be gone. Billy Turner, I'm trying to see if there's a way they can save a bunch cutting him. Dean Lowry maybe will be gone. I almost have to assume Mason Crosby is going to be gone. But outside of that, they can't really clear that much money, so it's probably going to come down to Green Bay actually extending some of these guys down the road so to actually make it a little bit less of a hit this year. Once again, it seems like Devontae is going to be tagged. Maybe by the time this video comes up, he'll be tagged. But yeah, Green Bay is not in a great cap situation right now. That Rodgers deal, once again, should be backloaded, so maybe it'll help for the time being. But this is Green Bay's time to nail the draft. They absolutely have to. Previous years, they were able to, they had a little bit of flexibility to add some veteran talent, guys like, what's his name, Rasul Douglas, Devondre Campbell, those kind of guys that are kind of cheap deals. We can't even really afford those even. So this draft is going to have a lot of guys that are going to be coming in and starting potentially right out the gate. I mean, you got to assume 99% chance, unless somebody at a skill position like wide receiver, falls. Green Bay is going edge in the first round. Second round, probably interior of the D-line. Third round, probably a tackle. Fourth round, maybe a tight end. Fifth round, probably a wide receiver. Something along those lines. A cornerback or two in the 6th and 7th. I'm not sure what kind of compensatory picks the Packers got. Obviously lost some pretty good players, specifically offensive linemen, recently enough. Obviously, Corey Linsley was absolutely insane. I got to assume that's got to be a decently high compensatory pick just based on the contract he signed and the fact that I would assume he was an all-pro, right? Like, he was basically the best center again in football, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, this is a move more, as a Packers fan, I love Rodgers to death, and I always get to fight about Brady versus him. It's a never-ending battle for me. I'm the Rodgers playoff loss gatekeeper. But it's not going to end anytime soon, as once again he does resign. A lot of people, when I was making my Packers kind of quote-unquote free agent prediction rebuild, they were like, yeah, what's the point of doing a Packers rebuild with Rodgers and Adams? They're not going to be there. You're just a Packers fan coping, idiot. Well, I mean, who's right and who's right? Like, it's pretty obvious, right? It was pretty obvious it was going to happen. Anyone that didn't see this happening is pretty stupid, to be honest. And yeah, that's me going right after the people that said that. I don't care. You were dumb. Why? Why would the Packers not tag Adams? The best case, like I said, is that, if you're Adams off of the Packers fan, was a tag and trade. He was never not going to be tagged, right? Although I will say it hasn't officially happened. So, excuse me if it doesn't happen, but, I'm kind of predetermining this. At least I was right about Rodgers, right? I suppose. But I heard rumors, Rodgers, before all this happened, that he wanted MVS back as well. I don't know how the hell you're going to afford him. You're taking all this money from the team. Once again, I don't know the exact details. It's probably backloaded. I'm not perfect with the cap, but like I said, I assume it will open up some money this year at least to also pay Davante. I just don't know how that works down the line for guys like Jair. I've said in the past, the guys I want to keep the most are Jair and Davante over everyone. I will say, Davante is a little on the older side for somebody that you would, be using to develop a new guy, because once again, if it's not Jordan Love, that's another year or two of development. Davante be 30, 31-ish. How many high-level years does he have left in him? I'm hoping when they re-sign him, it's only a 4-year deal and not 5-year. Green Bay is too nice to their freaking players. And, Rodgers is great and all, but this was the year to rip the Band-Aid off, if we're going to be honest. If you're going to either A, sign him for cheaper, or B, trade him off, get rid of him, and, have the Packers organization move on, this was the year. He was in the media for all the wrong reasons this year. I don't think anyone would have blamed him. I mean, I think half of the Packers fandom got torn, split decision on whether they wanted him back or not, just because of that, not even play. So this was your year. Next year, people are going to forget about all that. The year after, people are going to forget, So, I mean, this was the year to do it. And I don't know how this works out. Once again, I wouldn't say Rodgers is overrated, especially considering, once again, just like the Odell talks, I always defended him. You're not overrated if people only say you're overrated, right? Like, it's kind of like Trayvon Diggs now. You can't even call him overrated now because people only say he's overrated. Yes, he was overrated in the sense that he got all pro, but at the it's fair for Rodgers at least. Maybe Trayvon Diggs is a terrible example because he was vastly overrated, but oh man, I will say I think personally I would have had Brady as the MVP last year. Rodgers still played at a very high level. His output wasn't as crazy, mainly because the Green Bay Packers do run the ball now, not because they feel like they have to. It's because they want to. It works. It opens up the pass game even more, especially with the lacking of weapons, especially with more injuries. Like I said, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I didn't fully touch on it with the whole, I felt like Rodgers was done. The Packers are done. Move on from Rodgers. He's not going to get another ring. David Bakhtiari, I don't know what his number was, something probably 15 to 20 mil or something like that. Not out there for a second straight playoff game, which you're hoping to get him back now. If he gets injured again, GG's. I mean, it's GG's in the chat. But if he stays healthy, completely different outcome on the last 2 seasons. The number one reason Green Bay struggled or didn't go further, aka the Super Bowl, was because of pressure. Off the edge, instantaneous rush. It not only locks up the left side because David Bakhtiari is that good, but you're also able to send help to someone else. So it's basically when David's not out there, it's like you're losing 2 players because you can't help the right tackle. You can't even help the left tackle. You know, you're screwed because otherwise you're double teaming and you can't get away with it. Not just that, but you had Za'Darius playing on a snap count. I think he played like 20-30% of his snaps. That's a huge cap number, 20+ mil. Preston, I think, was out there. Yeah, he was out there. Jair was on a super snap count. MVS wasn't out there. You have players that are huge contributors and huge cap numbers. Green Bay had like 50 or 60 mil not playing or playing very limited snaps against the Niners. That's a lot of cap. That's a lot of talent gone. I know teams have injuries, but I don't know as by money-wise if anyone was that more injured in that sense than the Packers in the playoffs. It was this whole, the bye week, everyone's going to be back perfectly fine, and they still weren't ready. So, yes, Rodgers did not play well, did not play perfectly, but would it have been a different situation with injuries not being a factor or less injuries or they came back sooner? Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's a completely different situation. Who knows what happens? Once again, Green Bay beat all the teams that they had to face to win the Super Bowl in the regular season. I know it's a different situation, but injuries once again, so who knows? But you got to think if Green Bay's healthy, they win the Super Bowl last year. I tell Rodgers, hey, you know what? I get your mulling retirement. We're in a tough spot. If you're not willing to take this number, I don't know what we can do. I mean, if you really want to trade, we'll trade you. I mean, we're just in a bad spot, brother. That's what I would say. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, I just don't know how this is going to work out. Once again, Gutekunst is going to have to kill it in the draft. That's really their only option. The veteran help, I just don't know how they're going to afford it. Once again, I'm not a cap guru. I don't know all the numbers. Some of the numbers are false. Some of the numbers aren't updated and all that. I'm looking at some of them. Hopefully this Rodgers contract actually helps the team a little bit, but once again, you see the big flashing neon sign of the number, and you're like, what did Green Bay do? But, of course, let me know what you guys think. Let me know, as an outside fan, how mad you are if you're a Steelers or a Broncos fan, thinking maybe you had a chance at Rodgers or potentially Devontae or both. Raiders fans who thought, Devontae was potentially going to come back, or not come back, but reunite with Derek Carr. I'm not trying to put in your face wrong. The only people I'm saying that for is when the Packers rebuild that came out with, after the Packers season was it? I can't remember, but after that came out, they were just talking how dumb I was, thinking that I was just coping as a Packers fan. I was like, I'm not coping because at this rate, I don't even know how much faith I have in Rodgers or the Packers. So whatever happens, let it ride. Rebuild, whatever. They still have a window now, obviously, but Rodgers is going to have to earn that money. I know he got back-to-back MVPs, once again, carried by a good regular season coach job. I will say Matt LaFleur in the playoffs seems to just absolutely choke more than anyone, but it's a great team around him. But that window, maybe 2 years, we'll see. Maybe Rodgers wins back-to-back Super Bowls and everyone just looks like an idiot, or back-to-back first-round exits and everyone's right. I don't know, but the memes are going to be flying. Hopefully the comments are going to be flying because I love responding to stuff like this. Hopefully I didn't repeat myself too much. I don't think I did. I think I hit on a bunch of different things that may be repetitive, but they were different each topic. And yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys, if you guys really believe, Devontae or Rodgers weren't going to, come back, or what's the story? What do you think the Packers are going to do? Maybe what do you think they're going to do in the draft, perhaps? Like I said, I already mentioned, edge, first round for sure. I mean, it just seems so obvious unless somebody falls. Wide receiver and corner, not even by, want, but just straight up need. There's not that many on the roster active, but that's about it. That's my TED Talk, and there might be a video a little bit later today, an experiment-type video. Like I was mentioning in that video, tomorrow perhaps I might stream on twitch.tv/Jeromepkr. We'll see. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for the next video, but until next video, see ya!